I thought he was lobbing.
Gas.
I thought he was lobbing frag grenades. I don't know what I was doing, mate. Medic!
Sneak into the medic.
Well, that was unfortunate.
There's
Medic!
gotta be a medical kit here somewhere.
Hold on, this gentleman is
I'm a medic,
people.
I'm a medic.
Oh, well,
Oh,
he
there
was a medic. Jesus Christ.
Hold on, hold on.
Oh, okay.
See ya.
Okay, I'll give you an escort back to your lines. I'll even let you keep
It
the
doesn't
med kit.
matter.
We do this by honor. We are wardens. Doesn't matter if we're about to lose or not. Do not
what's up?
wound this man. He's being friendly. Do not wound this man, damn it! He saved me. He deserves to go back
See you
to his
later.
lines.
Later, guys.
Ow.
Jesus Christ, come on! God damn it!
What's a quick death?
No! He was my friend!
I kind of feel bad now.
Troops, I saw a bear here. Today, we'll be talking about Update 62 for Foxhole. This update is a rather small one, mostly focusing on some minor gameplay changes and some balance fixes. But regardless, I cover every update, so let's get right into it. The interior firing ports for bunkers can no longer be placed on segments that have ladders with them, and vice versa. Trench connectors, tiers 1, 2, and 3, have had their visuals updated to reduce stretching at extreme angles, fixed inconsistencies in the build site collisions and completed versions, reducing instances where the validity of construction depends on the order the trench connector is built by its surrounding structures. And there's been some inconsistent decal placement fixes. Tier 1 trenches and bunkers have had their decay times increased, matching the speed at which their Tier 2 counterpart decays. Trench and bunker claims and demolish windows have been extended to 52 hours and 28 days, respectively, to match facilities. Construction equipment can now be placed on top of bunkers. Though this only applies to standard height bunkers, things like rifle garrisons and such don't count. Construction equipment can now construct all in-place weapons at the construction yard. It can also now be flagged for disruptive placement, and they've had a packaged and unpackaged entry added to their structure event log. For weapon emplacements, squad reservations have come to weapon emplacements. Attempting to package an emplaced weapon that is reserved now produces a failure message. The reserve multiple button now impacts emplacements situated in a trench emplacement. Non-squad members can interact with the inventory of a reserved emplacement, and pipeline valves can no longer be placed on the input socket of a structure. Vehicle event logs are now available to all vehicles. Though a note on event logs, they now only show when a trooper enters a vehicle, not when they exit, to reduce the amount of log spamming that might occur. For the map, there's an icon for region servers for when they have to be taken offline intentionally for maintenance. And also, during wars with reduced land masses, regions that are not a part of the war will be blanked out and their names won't be visible, so it's easier to tell what the landmass of the actual war is. And lastly, barrel heat is a new mechanic that has been added to storm cannons and tempest cannons that builds up as the weapon fires. You can see it displayed below the range and azimuth in the gunner seat. Once full barrel heat is reached, the weapon cannot be fired again until the weapon has sufficiently cooled. Tempest cannons can also no longer be packaged whilst it has barrel heat. It has to fully cool. And also for storm cannons, the rotation cost is increased from 0.1 to 3.5 power per degree. Some other changes include updated item crate tooltip to be quality agnostic. The Electo Heavy Cannon has been renamed to the 40-250 to match the range change that occurred in the previous update. Half-track collision has been improved, especially around the passenger areas, so you're less likely to die immediately just because you touched it ever so slightly. Players will no longer enter the wounded state whilst on ladders, they will instead die instantly. You wouldn't believe how many times it took me to try to solo wound myself just to show you this. So here's all my deaths. The credit screen has been updated to add in additional team members to Siege Camp. Some camera changes include smooth pitch changes when moving through cinematic camera pitches, which is awesome because I love using that. And when mounting and dismounting a vehicle, the camera has also been smoothed for that. Makes it less jarring overall. There were some security fixes, which are top secret, of course. And onto some balance changes. Prepared minefield excavation now costs 75 shovel digs instead of 150. The observation bunker power consumption has been reduced. For engine rooms, the Tier 2 cost has been reduced from 150 to 100 basic materials, and the Tier 3 cost has been reduced from 25 down to 15 concrete materials. The Ignifist 30 now has a 2 times multiplier to disable tracks and fuel subsystems for tanks. The construction equipment cost has also been reduced from 75 down to 50 refined materials. The AT gun garrison at Tier 1 has had its damage reduced from 600 down to 300. The artillery garrison at Tier 1 has had its range reduced from 600 down to 175. The artillery garrison and AT garrison at Tier 2 have had their cost increased from 150 to 200 basic materials. Intel centers and weather stations, activation cost has increased from 80 to 200. Rotation cost increased from 0.5 to 2.5 per degree of rotation. The PT 815 smoke grenade has had its cost reduced from 120 down to 80 basic materials. Quantity per crate has increased from 10 to 15. Insert Snoop Dogg joke here. The Tier 3 gate has had its cost increased from 15 to 25 concrete materials, and its repair cost has increased from 75 to 125 basic materials. And that about does it for this update. Thanks for tuning in. As always, there were a bunch of bug fixes along with this update, but I leave those for the patch notes that you can find in the description down below. Now, typically, I end these update videos by asking you what you're most excited for with the new changes and equipment, but since there's not really a whole lot of new equipment for this update, I'll ask instead, the current war that we are on, as I'm recording this, World Conquest 126, has been going on for 65 days. That is over 2 months. And a large part of this is because of the recent Builders update. Now, I am working on another suggestion series related to this new long war phenomenon, but I wanted to ask you guys, do you think this war is too long? Or do you think this war hasn't been mobile enough? It's been too static? Because that is something I'm trying to tackle with the next suggestion series, so I'd kind of like to hear your guys' input as I craft the next PowerPoint. So do let me know in the comments down below if you think the war length is too long, not long enough, or just right, and if defenses need, let's say, alternative ways of being taken down. If you like what you saw with this update video, please like, share, and subscribe, and send it to all the troopers you know out there. And as always, good luck, keep your heads down, and stay in your foxholes. Bear out.